Hello and welcome to the show. I am back on automation today with another challenge. My task is to try and build a mid-engined supercar. However, my engine cannot be bigger than 2 litres. Now that is not exactly a massive engine for a supercar, but we're going to try and get as much supercar-like performance out of it. So we're going to be wanting a top speed of over 200 miles an hour. We're going to want it to be fast around the circuit. 0 to 60 time, probably going to be somewhere in the mid 3 seconds if everything goes well, maybe 4 seconds. Yeah, that's the plan. Now, we're going to be building it as a modern supercar, so we're going to go for the 2002 Coupe. As tempting as it is to build like an NSX or so on, we are going to go for the most modern body style anyway that I can get a mid-engined configuration going, essentially. Panel material. Now, of course, supercar, we want it to be light. Do we go for aluminium? Do we go for carbon fiber? Carbon fiber will be very light, but of course it is going to start getting expensive. It's a supercar though, we can get away with some carbon fiber in this. Chassis type. Do we go for a monocoque chassis on this? I'm kind of thinking if we go for a carbon fiber tub on this one as well. So there'll be plenty of carbon fiber on this car. Make it nice and light. Hopefully make it nice and fast. Yeah, a bit more expensive, but there we go. Mid-engined longitudinal is the way that we are going to want. Now, I'm thinking, shall we be brave? Shall we go for some pushrod suspension? It is likely to be expensive and a bit time-consuming to make, but it'll make it fast. It'll make it good handling, and that is what we need. So, we've got the underpinnings of the car. Now, I am kind of fancying making a mini V12. I say a mini V12. I think a mini V12 sounds like an excellent idea. So what we're going to do is go for a very, very high revving little V12. It sounds like the most entertaining possible thing to do. There we go. 2 litre V12. Yeah, it's gonna be a little engine. It's going to be a little engine displacement-wise. It's still actually quite big. That's why I went for the bigger of the two body options for the coupe, because it's still quite a long engine, of course, being a V12. Now, what are we going to make the block out of? We will have to try and save some money. What we might go for? Shall we go for aluminium? I think aluminium silicate, isn't it? And we want double overhead cams on here. I might actually, because maximum RPM and so on, I might actually go for just the 4 valves rather than the 5. Again, maybe a little bit production time down and so on. We'll keep with the aluminium. I believe it's aluminium silica. I apologise if I'm getting that one wrong. But there we go. Do we want variable valve lift? Sure, let's go for some of that. Crank now. We're probably going to be wanting all the high-end stuff on this. Although, admittedly, max RPM is what's important in this torque. We're probably not going to be getting that much. It's only a small engine. We're not going to be getting 2,000 horsepower and many torques out of it. So we might actually get away with just forged as opposed to sort of billeted steel and so on. We might keep this with forged. Maybe we'll go with lightweight forged in this. Again, focusing on RPM more than we are focusing on torque. I think we're probably going to have to stick that up at the top anyway, because it's going to be, making a fast vehicle. We're going to be running a quite aggressive cam profile and so on. If we're going to want to get decent power out of this, we are going to want a turbo, so we will go and stick a race turbo in all of that. Injection, we'll go direct injection, of course. That's what we're going to be wanting per cylinder. We'll get the race intake on the go. We'll probably run it on some super fuel, and that will be that for the engine. Exhaust, we're going to be wanting hopefully more power. Maybe not quite 900. I'd be very surprised if I've got 900 horsepower out of this engine. We will, it's a road car, we will need a catalytic converter, and then straight throughs, and straight through on there. Right, okay, so in this current spec or whatever, we've got 278 horsepower. Not very supercar-esque indeed, but we should be able, we should really be able to stick the rate. In fact, we can actually go all the way to 12,000 RPM. We're kind of dropping away a little bit in terms of power up that far. It will do it. In fact, the crank will go to 14,000 RPM. I think the conrods will give out at 13,600. I physically can't put the RPM up any more than that. Right, let's go and sort out... Hey, this is looking more like it in terms of power. 400 horsepower. So we can go and rack up the fuel mixture up to 428 horsepower. It kind of peaks at about 9,000 RPM. And then we can go... Now, over here, what do we got? Compression-wise, we can get some... We can increase the compression a little bit. What can we do with the cam profile? Okay, interestingly, with the way that I have ended up building this, the cam profile isn't actually changing a huge amount. It's kind of just changing where the power kicks in. There is a huge step in all of this, which is something that seems to happen with turbo engines. I can't, for the life of me, figure out how to get that to be... I mean... We can get it to be calmer, but you end... Oh, okay, air ratio, we're up to 530. I mean, that's not bad in terms of power. 530 horsepower, okay, I mean, in terms of... Okay, let's not go that far up with all of that. Yeah, 530 horsepower, you know, is not too shabby. Now, what have we got up with the valves? Okay, valve train runs into valve float. I can't remember how to fix that one. Okay, so that's knocking if we start putting it back down too far there. Fuel system, so we kind of don't really want to... kind of got a lot of stuff here. Okay, well, to be fair, we don't actually need to run it up to 12,000 RPM. There is no real need. We'll try about 10,500, sure. And then fuel mixture. Okay, the fuel economy on this thing is atrocious, although... This is the fuel efficiency value. It is low here. It's a supercar. It's going to be low, but also my car is hopefully going to be quite light. So it should kind of even itself out as not being quite all that god-awful. What can I do with the exhaust? Nothing really. 531. I was going to mess around with the intercooler as well. Sometimes you can get some help with this if we get it just about sized, right? 534 horsepower, 365 torque. Okay, it's not a full-on hypercar, but that's definitely sort of supercar numbers. It's definitely sort of supercar numbers. The question? Well, what does it sound like? Right, so the engine is so noisy that my microphone is actually picking up my computer speakers, which is very, very rare. It's insanely noisy. It's, yeah, this point here is going to be called the wheel spin zone, where you suddenly go from nothing, ludicrous, and then, yeah, if you get the gearing wrong, you will be stuck in nothing. You will be stuck in nothing, and then suddenly it's all there on show. Although, I guess if you get the gear ratios right, you will stay in that kind of 400, 500 horsepower range. It's just that step you'll have to be careful with. That's a mad little engine. A mad little engine indeed, but that is the point of it all. We've already got 2 litres to play with. When we want 500 horsepower, we kind of got to go a little bit crazy. So, that is going to be the body style. Ooh, hello wheels. We're making an odd-looking thing. That will probably have to be fixed soon. They are the biggest wheels. So it's like, I could choose whatever size tyres I wanted on my cars in Forza 7. This is how they would end up looking, just because I would max everything out. Apparently, that's what we go... Why is it done? I've never seen it do that before. That's really peculiar. It's going to look kind of weird now trying to work on the car when it's got wonky wheels. I apologise for that, but there's not much more I can do. Right, headlights. Let's get started with some of these. Now, I have worked with this body style in the past. I always have real difficulties trying to get the headlights to sit how I want in this. There's something about this body style. It's a real pain, I find, at least, to get the headlights to work. They are always a little bit grumpy about me placing them, trying to kind of fit in the little gap that we have to work with here. Can we get you to go? I'm kind of trying to... I wonder, actually, will the pop-up headlights... I mean, modern cars traditionally wouldn't have pop-up headlights. However, they should be a thing that all cars should have pop-up headlights, really. They're fantastic things, although, no, they're not going to work. They're not going to fit in that little corner gap, if you like. What about these ones? Maybe if we were to kind of make them a tad smaller, if we just spin them around and get them to sit kind of along with the curve of the car, potentially. See, I think I want them to come down a bit further. I want them to come down here. Can we maybe make them a little longer? Something along that sort of lines, maybe? Yeah, I'm okay with that for now. I might end up changing that. We will see. The front of this is kind of quite Ferrari 360-esque, this vehicle. In fact, I wonder if we go for, rather than having like the main big front grille, if we go for, maybe not quite that high, if we go for like a couple of almost larger air pods at the side, like so, and then maybe go for a little bit more central on that, and then maybe if we have just a very thin little grille along the middle, something like that. I say along the middle, but something like right down at the very bottom, just a thin grille. Do I want a curved grille? In fact, can I even get a curved grille? I don't know if I could get a curved grille to follow the line that I would want it to. Just go slightly. Oh, it's doing that weird glitchy bit again, where it slightly just cuts stuff off at the top. So if we do that, and then we will grab a lip. Which one was the good one? Was it this one? I say which one was the good one there. Is it this one here that will fit? Ooh, it goes a little bit funky in the middle slightly. Okay, maybe not go for that one. I think the style, the body style on this car, the way it kind of like cuts in, is a little bit strange. If we just make that again just a touch shorter so it doesn't seem to flick out at the sides, something like that. Yeah, okay. I don't even know if I need that at the front, quite frankly. So if we go for that, we'll go for a number plate. We'll go for, it's going to be a sport. Well, it's going to be a super, but there we go. So if we stick a number plate in the middle, we can make that a bit bigger. Pick number plate in the centre. Maybe we'll just extend those a little bit. No. It's better how it was. It's definitely better how it was. Keep those in the corner. I'm just I'm umming and ahhing about where I want these kind of side pods placed. So we stick those around there. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of Ferrari 360-esque so far. And then, do we want something on the bonnet, or do we go for something on the? Maybe we go for, instead of something on the bonnet, we'll go for like something up here. Maybe extend it. Maybe make it longer rather than. There we go. So we'll have some like little vents on the fenders. That works for me. We'll have some vents. Do we want this one I use for kind of like brake ducting, if you like? I've used it in the past on a couple of cars. Ooh, I wonder if you could go for. Hold on a second. Idea. Yeah, you can kind of go for like the McLaren. What's it called? Is it 720 that has like the big cutouts along the side? I don't know my McLarens particularly well. You kind of can't sort of stretch it out across. I mean, what I can do is I was kind of playing around with this briefly. So you could go for, if you wanted, in fact, you can go for it. So you go for it glass. You can go for it coloured. So you can use this as a sort of cutout. Like if you want to go and make, I say, custom shapes along the side of your car. I am not the best at doing this kind of a thing. Ooh, wonder if I just had another idea for this. Remembering the sort of stuff that you can do with it, you can get quite technical if you want to with the vehicles. I was just thinking, I've got to get really distracted here, and that's dangerous. Kind of like LaFerrari-esque. Could you? If you did it sort of things like. You might be able to. Someone better than me at this game, like have like the cutaway bonnet bit. You might be able to do it, but I only just thought of it now, and that would probably take me an hour to figure out doing what I wanted to do with the car. So maybe we'll just go back to what I was doing in the first place back here with the little vents in this corner. Gone for a different style one. I don't think I've ever actually used this particular shape of vent, but there we go. Right, back of the car. What are we going to do with tail? I mean, the logical place to put them, with the shape of the car, is fairly obvious. But I don't think we have any that fit in. Oh, maybe actually that will fit into that gap. Can I get it to? And maybe if I make it taller, that does kind of work there, actually. Haha! Works for me. Definitely works for me. We will get the rear license plate. We will, again, stick with the sport labelled one. That can go there. It might be a little bit big for number plates, but, you know, it's fine. It'll work. Then we want to go for, oh god, was it those that we had at the front? Yes, it was those. Maybe we go for these, or maybe we actually just go for a big kind of cutout grille at the back for this car. Sure, we can just go for, yeah, just a simple big grille at the back, and then we will get exhaust. I'm thinking we go for 4. Because why not? Why not? If we extend that over there, I think people were telling me if I hold shift, yes, if you hold shift and then drag, you then get a second one as well. We probably want these actually to sit a little lower. So if we sit these down here somewhere, trying to judge the height of these is not the easiest thing in the world. I am pretty garbage at it. However, there we go. Right, so exhausts down the bottom. It's a simple looking car, you know, it's not my normal ludicrousness. Ludicrousness? I think that's a word. It's going to be a word anyway. Wheels, what do we go for? Do we go for something a little bit... I might go for these. See, those are still my favourite of the lot. However, those are a close enough second. God, that's hideous. Nope, them. They're not too bad, but I prefer this sort of style. Oh, of course. We need things like wing mirrors on the car. We'll go with... should we go for like these little... really little streamlined ones? God, that's tiny. You'll not see a thing in that. That will have to be made a bit bigger. Otherwise, you will never see a single thing with that. So there we go. We need door handles, of course. Again, we'll go for a nice little compact door handles. What sort of doors should this have? Would we go for like suicide doors? Would we go for gull wing doors, scissor doors, or just go for, you know, a proper normal door opening? I mean, I'd be tempted, just because I love the suicide doors on my RX-8, I'd be tempted to go for those, just for weirdness sakes, although quite how that would work on a supercar would be an interesting one. But there we go. There's not something you can change in this game at the moment. Doors, I assume, just all open as normal doors on here. Fuel cap as well, because we're going to be burning through many petrols. If you're going to be getting 500 horsepower out of a 2 litre, you're going to be burning through many petrols indeed. Oh, and of course, we need to badge it up as a FailRace Industries vehicle. Not in there. It was in this one, wasn't it? Yes, it's a FailRace Industries vehicle. One that we are quite proud of, I think. Well, we'll wait and see, actually. How proud of it will depend on how quick this goes around a track. It's going to be the oh, crap. Did I just delete the wing mirrors? No, I didn't. Fantastic. Yeah, how proud we are will vary depending on its... track prowess. It might be crap, but I'm hoping not, but it might be. Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's simple enough. It's simple enough looking. Right, drivetrain. We are going to want rear wheel drive, of course. We're going to go for a sequential gearbox. Do we go 7-speed or do we go 6-speed? We'll go 7-speed in this. It reckons it'll top out at 198 miles an hour, so does look like our hope for a 200 mile an hour plus top speed is going to be just about achieved. I'm going to make the gear ratios a little bit longer because that's only an estimate. We can sometimes get it faster than that. So, yeah, we'll go for electronic LSD for sportiness. Oh, our rear wheel glitches out massively. The wheels are now fixed. Thank God for that. Looks like we have some massive wheels. Radial tires. We'll go for sports compound. We're not quite going all the way up to semi-slicks, while that will be slightly faster. This is still going to be, at the end of the day, used as a road car. Ooh, 3, 4, 5s at the back. That's the sort of tyre that we want here. That is the sort of tyre that we want. Now, it's saying rear tyres are very low profile, making them uncomfortable, considering reducing rim size. Do we want 18-inch wheels on the car? Or do we go for the slightly lower profile tyres? I might just stick with a slightly lower profile. Should go for some magnesium wheels. Yes, I like the sound of that. Vented discs, 4 at the back, and I say four discs at the back, 4 pistons at the back. Size is going to be, oh no, that's right, 4 at the front. I eventually remember. Size-wise, we're probably going to want about 3. Should we go 325? And then vented 2 pistons at the rear. Well, again, you know, we're going to want some decent sized brakes, and we'll keep it 60-40. I mean, actually, they look quite tiny. Look quite tiny there, but I suspect if I go up to 400, the game's going to go, no, it's too difficult to drive. Why have you got such powerful brakes? That generally is the way that this game works sometimes. Don't ask. We will have some downforce. We're not going to go for crazy amounts of aero. 50% seems about a decent balance. We will, of course, get some cooling to those brakes, though. That's something we are going to want. I feel like I should give it a little bit of extra, like rather than having it literally on the limit of cooling, it feels like I should give it a little bit extra just to be on the safe side of things, especially when you're going to be running a mad turbocharged V12. We will have 2 seats. We'll go for sports interior. Right, you know, we could just go for basic, just strip it out and have it as a track car, but no, we'll go for a little bit more luxurious than that. We'll go for standard infotainment as well. I mean, it's still going to be a sports-orientated vehicle, but you've got to have some comforts, otherwise it's never going to sell. We're probably going to want, again, we're going to want electric variable on that, and we're going to want all of the various assists, and we're going to want it to be relatively safe, naturally. Yeah, okay, that is a little bit heavy, but you know, there's got to be various safety requirements and so on. Suspension-wise, we're going to want active sport where we can get it. So it's going to be pretty high-end, all of this. And, well, there we go. It is sat firmly in the, well, hypercar area and the supercar area. That is what I like to see. Well, there's a lot of warning messages going on here. The tyres are... The game is unhappy about the tyres, however, shall we, before I go and change stuff, right, overview of our car, 534 horsepower, it weighs just 1,200 kilos, which is not bad for a modern car and so on. It's not too shabby. Let's go and take it around the track first, because I will go and have a fiddle about with the tyres and so on. Now, let's go and send the noisiest car in existence around the circuit. It reckons it'll do 201 miles an hour. Supercar territory we wanted. 0 to 60 is 3.3 seconds. Again, perfect supercar territory. Let's speed up the old time, get it around this circuit. Now, the V8 supercar that went out last time was a 116 around here. Ooh, that's fast. My 2-litre supercar is a 114.4. Now, this is a rough recreation of the Top Gear test track. That 14.4 there is, well, it's 2 seconds quicker than the V8 supercar that I built. That is also, therefore, 2 seconds quicker than a Bugatti Veyron Supersport, McLaren MP412. Yeah, the MP412C is a couple of seconds quicker than. I think, isn't it the Wara, the fastest car at the Top Gear track? It was 112, so already a couple of seconds off the Wara. That's mad. That is really very, very quick. Really very quick indeed. Now, the game reckons my tyres are wonky. I don't actually want to go back to engine. I'm okay with engine. The game reckons my tyres are wonky in all of this. It reckons we should have smaller wheels, and we should probably have smaller tyres. So if we were to say go 2 9.5s at the back and then 2 7.5s at the front, does that... it still reckons the front tyres are too wide in all of that. Does it really want like 2 5.5s? No, apparently it wants... The smaller the front tyres, the better it is. Oh, the game wants the car to understeer. I forgot about that. The game wants the car to understeer because it's a little bit safer. I don't. Admittedly, the smaller tyres do give us better miles a gallon. There's less friction to help slow the car down. Or to add resistance, essentially. I don't want to go for those piddly tyres, really. Not okay. Actually, hold on. Let's go put it down to where the game was happy with. The rear tyres are wide, so if we go 2 9.5s at the back and like 2 4.5s, is that where it's happiest at? Yeah. So if we go 2 4.5s front, 2 9.5s at the rear. Now let's go and send it around the test track. We'll play it again. So it was a 114. Remember last time out 114.6 or something. Same top speed, same 0 to 60, interestingly. So it still gets the same traction off of the line. perhaps with the amount of power and so on that we have available in this car, it's not too bad in terms of the wheel spin and that. Okay, so similar lap time. 14.9, I think it might be a couple of tenths slower, but it does make the game happier. Basically, it makes my car more likely to sell as well. You know, it does need to sell. Now, it still reckons the front tyres are a bit wide. Brake fade, I am surprised, increase the brake size. Hold on, it's saying... Wait, no, the front brake force is very high compared... So the front brake force is very high here. No, sorry, over here. Front brake force is very high, but we've got brake fade. So if we then... Surely we would want... He's saying have bigger brakes to stop brake fade, and then have smaller brakes because the brake force is too high. Maybe we'll just make the pad type better. Maybe we'll just go for considerably, better pad types. Now the brakes are still suffering from... Now it's reckoning both the front and rear is too high compared to rear. You know what? I'm going to just ignore this and get good brakes. Is what we're going to do here. Just good brakes, better brakes, importanter for hypercar. I'm going to ignore the glowy, flashy messages. There are various things with the setup as well, apparently, it reckons. The thing is, the game wants me to have an understeery car. And I don't want to have an understeery car, particularly. So we're going to go and try and... Oh, okay, so if we keep it there, that's about as perfect in terms of hypercar as we can get it. Yeah, it wants us to have more in terms of rear camber. That was kind of out there was a happy spot for the market, if you like. Sportiness 99.9%, drivability 93.4%. I don't think that's... Well, my engine is... I know a little bit of an awkward bugger. That's not going to be an easy engine to drive whatsoever. Market-wise, it is... Yeah, I mean, it's as you would expect. Apparently utility, sport, luxury-ish vaguely, for some reason. Not sure about that. Hypercar, it's right there. It's right there. Supercar, it is in that window. I mean, GT Premium, it's kind of along those lines. In Fruinia, it is not quite... what is the penalties here? I might be a little bit old. Oh, the body edge ever so slightly. It's not quite working over here. But I mean, it's still kind of there. It won't be in Arcana because it's not going to be ran on the right fuel. But in Gasmia, the favourite country of mine for selling vehicles, well, we got it. It's a supercar. If anything, it's more of a hypercar than I initially set it out to be. It reckons it's going to cost about $75,000. I mean, you could up the price a little bit, and it would still, you know, we could sell it for $105,000, and they'd still be perfectly happy buying it as a hypercar. So, there we go. 2-litre supercar / I think it's pretty good. It's bloody fast around that track, all things considered. I know the engine is a little bit lumpy, but trying to get 500 horsepower out of this tiny engine, it's kind of how it's going to end up being in some ways. I am plenty pleased enough with it, though. That much. I'm afraid the rear wheel is a little bit glitchy, but we won't tell the customers about it. No one needs to know about the slightly peculiar rear wheel that we have going on. So, yeah, there we go. That is going to be... hold on, if we get rid of fixtures and get rid of body, there it is. Look at the tiny engine. It's but hold on, we'll zoom in close enough so that you can actually see the tiny 2-litre. 2-litre hypercar is complete. As ever, if you have challenges you want to see me try and complete on this game, please do leave them in the comments section. And next Monday, maybe I will have a go with yours. That'll be it, though, for today. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.